I have to get up. I have to brush my teeth. I have to eat breakfast. I have to go to work. I have to drive. I have to. Actually, Lore, we get to.
Hello, and welcome to Learn to Love You, a channel and a community where I want to help you to learn to love yourself because learning how to do so has changed my life. Hello everybody, welcome back to Learn to Love You. If this is your first time here, welcome to Learn to Love You. And if you're returning, welcome back. It's great to see you again. So in today's episode, we're going to be discussing gratitude and how cultivating gratitude can help you to have a better outlook on life as well as a better relationship with yourself. Since we're currently in the holiday season, Thanksgiving just passed and Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa are on the way, why not make an episode around gratitude? I feel like it's the perfect time and it's perfect weather today, so I decided to come outside. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So much of the time we live our lives in a state of obligation. We feel obligated to go to work, to go to school, to get gas, to get groceries, to do our responsibilities. And this sense of obligation often leaves a lot of people feeling burnt out and unmotivated. The truth is, nobody really wants to feel obligated into doing things. That just takes away from the fun of doing things. But oftentimes when we're swept away in our daily lives and we're forced to stick to these routines, we miss how good our lives actually are and we end up taking a lot of things for granted. But one of the greatest ways that you can actually make your life better and improve your overall mental health and your overall well-being is through gratitude. I'm just so tired of hearing about gratitude. Everyone always says that it's the cure, that you should be grateful all the time. Well, my life is crap. How could I possibly be grateful in a life like this? Now, as boring and cliche as gratitude might sound, practicing it can actually raise your overall vibration and work wonders in your life. It is literally one of the key things that you need in order to catapult your life in a better direction. Because by doing this, it will influence your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, and your relationship with the world and life at large. Well, how could I possibly be grateful when there's so much wrong with my life? Now, I understand that you might have a lot of things happening in your life right now, and things might be falling apart. Or maybe you've had a challenging life your entire life, so gratitude sounds way out of the question for you. Now, I'm not here to force you to start being grateful, or to force you to overlook all the things that are going on in your life. I'm just here to gently guide you into this practice and plant seeds in your mind. So take whatever resonates and discard of the rest. But since you're still listening, let's work on starting to build a house of gratitude from the ground up. In order to build the foundation on our house of gratitude, cultivating gratitude starts in small ways. Even if things are not the best right now, it starts with seeing and acknowledging the things in your life that are actually going right. And these can be things that we often overlook. Did you wake up this morning? Can you see? Can you hear? Can you taste? Can you walk? Can you use the bathroom? And for things outside of us, is the sun shining today? Do you have money in your bank account? Look, you don't have to have millions of dollars to be grateful. You can have any amount in your account to be grateful for it. Do you have a bed to sleep in? Do you have jackets and sweaters to keep you warm in the cold weather? We often overlook simple things like these, and we don't realize that without these things in our lives would be exponentially harder. Basic gratitude comes from finding appreciation in the simple things in life, and by starting here, we can start to build a foundation of our house of gratitude. But now that we've squared away the basics, let's start building up our house of gratitude from here. To build the basic floors of our house of gratitude, I'm going to introduce a mindset shift that's going to change the way that you see everything in your life. Ready for it? It's called the I get to mindset. Instead of using the term I have to, I want you to change that phrase into I get to. Here's an example. I have to go to work. Instead, change that phrase into I get to go to work. Working is actually a privilege, and there are a lot of people out there who are not able to work, or who are not able to find jobs or a stable source of income. So understand that you get the opportunity to go to work. You get the opportunity to earn money. You get the opportunity to have a stable source of income. Let's look at another example. I have to go grocery shopping. Instead say, I get to go grocery shopping. Now, you don't have to go grocery shopping and you don't have to eat, but just realize that being able to buy food and to access a grocery store is actually very much a privilege. Having access to a grocery store is actually something that not everyone has access to. And being able to feed yourself and to feed your family, don't even get me started on how much of a privilege that is. And last example here, this is going to be a good one. I have to spend money. Instead say, I get to spend money. or I have the money that I need to spend on this. Recently, I've been working to cultivate a mindset around abundance when it comes to money, and I've realized that money is actually an energy, and you could either learn to become friends with it or enemies with it. Money is actually a tool that we use to trade in exchange for value. We trade money for food. We trade money to keep our lights on. We trade money for experiences. And it is a privilege to be able to afford things and to cover expenses, and realize that you don't have to have any of the things that money can buy you. But realize that you wouldn't have any of the things that you do have now if you couldn't spend money on it to begin with. Now, I get that we all want to be rich and we all want to save as much money as we possibly can, but realizing that you actually get to spend money to gain value in your life is a way that you can shift your mindset around spending money to see that it's actually a privilege to begin with. The point of all of this is that you don't have to have or do any of these things, and you're not entitled to any of these things either. Not everyone in the world has access to all of the things that you supposedly have to do. So realize that you get the privilege to do all of these things, and you get the opportunity to as well. Once you've integrated this mindset around gratitude, it really changes the way that you see everything. And this is where we can start to put the roof on our house of gratitude. In order to put the roof on our house of gratitude, we need to start treating the things in our lives that we say that we're grateful for like we actually are grateful for them. We say that we're grateful for the money that we have, but we end up tossing our spare change everywhere. And we don't realize that if we actually spent time collecting the change that we have and being grateful for even the pennies and dimes, you might actually have a couple of extra dollars to your name. We say that we're grateful for our health, but then we smoke, drink, eat lots of junk food, and never exercise, and we don't realize that if we don't treat our bodies with love, it's only a matter of time before that health goes away. We say that we're grateful for our bed or for our own place to sleep in, but then we end up not making our bed in the morning, and we end up leaving our stuff all over the floor, and not treating our rooms and our spaces like we're grateful for them. Now look, I'm not the neatest person in the world myself, and I'm not asking you to spring clean your room every day. All I'm saying is that take time to organize your stuff every so often, and clean your room from time to time, and show that you're grateful for the things that you have. There's a quote from the homie Jesus that says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with a lot." Now, I don't label myself as Christian, and you might not be either, but you don't have to be in order for this quote to resonate with you. Everything in the universe is energy, and gratitude is also energy. Gratitude is very high vibrational as well. And if you want to become an energetic match to more blessings in your life, then you have to tap into the energy of gratitude. Imagine this scenario. Since we're around Christmas, let's say that you bought 2 children in your family the same toy for Christmas. One of the kids runs to you, hugs you, thanks you for the gift, and ends up playing with it. But the other kid says, "I didn't want this toy. I wanted a different one. Why did you get me this piece of junk? This toy is stupid." And this kid either destroys the toy that you got them, or they just let it sit on the shelf for years and they just never open it or play with it. Now ask yourself, which kid would you consider buying another toy for next year? I believe that God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, operates in the same way. It wants to give more to whatever is expressing gratitude, because that shows it that, you're grateful for what you have, and that you can be trusted with what you have, and that you appreciate the things that you've got. Do you think that the universe is going to enjoy giving you nice things if you can't appreciate the things that you already have, and you treat those things like crap? And this can also go for the people in our lives. A lot of the times we take a lot of people in our lives for granted, and we don't appreciate them when they're around. There's a quote that says, "You don't know what you've got till it's gone." And the people in our lives won't always be here either. People die every single day. Recently, over this past weekend, a professor that I had in college died, and he was one of my favorite professors. And honestly, I didn't really take the time to appreciate him while he was here. Sure, I would see him every so often in passing, and I would say hello to him, but he really did leave an impact on my life. And when I got the news, I was devastated. So if you love someone, tell them. If you appreciate them, tell them. Life is too short not to tell people that you appreciate them and to show them how grateful you are. I want to leave you with this. Although there might be so many things in your life that you might be struggling with, there's always something to be thankful for. And this could even apply to the world that we live in at large. Now, there's a lot of doom and gloom in the world right now, and the news and the media doesn't really help with this because all they show us are the bad things that are happening. But oftentimes we focus on these bad things too much, to the point where we overlook all the good that's happening all around us, and all of the love that always exists in the world. And part of having a better relationship with ourselves comes from seeing the privilege in our lives every single day, day and learning how to be grateful for the lives that we have. It's also seeing that you can be grateful for yourself. Be grateful for how far you've come in life. Be grateful for all the challenges that you've overcome. Be grateful for your strength and resilience. Be grateful for your accomplishments and for your talents and for your abilities. And be grateful that you get to be you and that you get to go on this journey, because nobody else gets to go on the journey that you get to go on. One thing that I constantly affirm to myself is that I get to be me. I get to be Lore. I get to be myself. I get to go on this journey. I get to live out this experience that nobody else gets to experience. And this is how you ought to start seeing your own life and your own journey. And you ought to start seeing that your life is actually a privilege, and it's a privilege to be you. Even if you have to be a little bit delusional, and it might feel weird to think this at first, it really is a privilege to be you. And it's really a privilege to have the life that you have and to go on the journey that you get to go on. And you can make it into anything that you want, and that's such a privilege right there. But self-love is a quest. It's a never-ending journey that we must go on in order to have happier and healthier lives. So allow me to take this journey with you and allow me to be your guide along the way. And we will learn to love ourselves together, day by day, little by little, and piece by piece. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If it inspired you today, make sure to give it a thumbs up and press the subscribe button down below. Also, make sure to share the good news of gratitude with a friend today and realize that you have so much to be grateful for. Just remember that I will always believe in you, but I just want you to believe in yourself. I'll see you guys next week.